So if you've ever thought about starting a cleaning business, or if you're in a cleaning business and you're not getting the type of traction that you expected when you started, listen, this is a video that you're not going to want to miss. Today, I have a special guest. I have a guest coming on right now, and I'm not even going to dive so far into the success that he is having within his business. I'm going to go ahead and let him do all of that himself. But today, I'm bringing to you none other than Mr. Sherman from Squeaky Clean Cleaning. Sherman, how you doing?
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for that intro. That was amazing.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you, man. I'm glad we finally got a chance to get together. I know we had talked about it a little bit in the past, and schedules just weren't lining up. But I'm glad to have you here, top of the new year, and I'm ready to give the people some jewels, man. And I know that you're full of them. So with all of that said and all of that out of the way, man, can you give me like a little bit of your background? What tell me a little bit about your background, your what led you to be an entrepreneur, and what actually led you into starting a cleaning business?
Okay. Well, I'm Sherman Lewis. I was born in North Carolina, but I grew up in Baltimore, Maryland. I joined the military some years ago, so now I'm a retired Air Force veteran now. So what happened with me is that right before I decided to retire, I kind of decided that I can't just sit home and just sit on the couch and and not do anything and not have anything to do. That's just not me. So I came up with something for me to kind of keep me active, to keep me outside moving and stuff like that. So because I was so used to doing it, so I decided, okay, I've always wanted to own a business, but I had no idea what business I wanted to start. It was like, okay, I like this, I like that, but what do I really want to start? So what happened is that I said, okay, well, how can I start a business, or what business can I start that's really not that cost intensive, meaning that I don't have to put in a whole lot of money at once, and then I can have it build itself up to in order for it to kind of build. So I was looking on YouTube and I came across an awesome gentleman by the name of AJ Simmons. You know AJ Simmons and Clean Biz Network, and he was talking about starting a cleaning business. And I do a lot of research and stuff like that. So I said, okay, well, I wonder if this will work. So I did more research. I watched a lot of videos, and I said, okay, let me just go ahead and see what he's really talking about. Mm-hmm. So I started one step at a time. I went and got my LLC. I got my business account, and I just kept taking steps towards, becoming a cleaning business owner. And after I got to the point where, okay, I got everything that he said I was supposed to, need in order to get started. Now, how do I get an account? So we went door to door, got our first account, and it was just, skyrocketed from there. And it happened right around the COVID time. So that was kind of a time where, it wasn't a whole lot going on, but that disinfection kind of, time period kind of kicked in. I did more research, and I got hooked up with, doing disinfection services for churches, and it absolutely took off. So I kind of, I call myself, and I think AJ's called me an anomaly, because every time I'll try something, it just takes off, and it just worked for me. I came in at the right time for a cleaning, company, in reference to, getting a niche and going with it. And it just worked out.
Man, well, that is amazing. But first and foremost, I definitely want to say thank you for your service. You know what I mean?
Sir.
To come in and spend the amount of time dedicated to the military. That's a very honorable thing. So most definitely thank you for your service.
Yes, sir.
My pleasure. So you started in 2020?
Yep.
2020. Okay. So
yep.
The crazy thing is this, like 2020 was so wild with everything that was going on, right? And the fact that you were able to, 2019, everything looked good. We didn't know, none of us knew what was going to happen. But you came in at 2020 and you were able to make the shift from like, okay, I'm thinking about commercial cleaning, but wait a minute, this new thing, I got to shift into the disinfecting space. So to be on your toes and to recognize the shift that was coming, that's amazing. I know a lot of people that's in the industry prior to 2020 who just couldn't make that, they couldn't make that change. They
Right.
didn't see what it was, and they couldn't, get behind the thing that was actually driving the businesses at that particular time. So the fact that you were able to do that, being brand new coming in, man, salute to you, because that's a huge shift. And a lot of people really, a
Thank you.
lot of businesses went under because they weren't able to make that shift.
They did, and the crazy thing is that I didn't feel any of that. In the military, I was an air traffic controller, so we talked to planes, and being a controller, you have to be able to adjust and adapt to the scenarios or to the situation. So when the pandemic hit, all I did was just pay attention to what was going on, and in this business, you have to be able to pivot and have to be flexible and be able to kind of go where the momentum is shifting, for your business or whatever your purpose is. And if you can be able to adjust and adapt, you'll be able to level up. And I just happened to just come in at the time, and I was just paying attention to what was going on. And it was really as simple as that. And it really wasn't anything that was so difficult. It was just being able to recognize what's going on and how you can use this to kind of propel your business into another level. And I just happened to be starting when I figured that out.
Oh wow. Wow, that is amazing to really have that type of foresight. And you said something that's going to actually bring me into my next question. But
Mhm.
before we do that, I definitely want to shout out AJ Simmons. What's going on, sir?
Yes.
AJ Simmons, CBA.
Yeah.
So you coming into you being a traffic controller, right?
Mhm.
And being able to assess different things that are coming your way and have to make the right decision. So being in the military, the decisions you make at the split of a hat, like people's lives are on the line. So
Every single talk, every single
every
call.
single time. So moving into this space, making a split decision is not so much pressure, but at
Right.
the same time, would you say that those skills that you got from the military helped you be able to navigate some of those tough decisions early on?
Absolutely, absolutely, 100%. Being able to kind of use the information and the training and just the preparation that we got in the military in reference to dealing with others, dealing with people, and being able to understand what their issues may be and figuring out ways of fixing it, or what you'll hear in the cleaning business is find out what their pain points are. And then when you find out what those pain points are, you figure out how you can solve that pain point for them.
Mhm.
Because a lot of times in the cleaning business, the customer knows that, I mean, there are thousands upon thousands of cleaning businesses, right? So what makes you different from any other cleaning business?
Mhm.
What makes us different? And it's hopefully I'm not parlaying or going into another question, but what makes us different? And I think what makes us stand out is that you sell yourself, but when a customer has an issue, a complaint, a concern, or anything like that, they don't want you to be perfect. They just want you to fix the issue.
Mhm.
That's really all they want. So if something happens and comes up and your client says, hey, that your cleaner missed this, just tell them, fix it. All you got to do is fix it. If you fix it and you make them happy, then 9 times out of 10, you're going to make the customer satisfied, and you're not going to have any issues from them. They want you to just fix whatever issue that they have. So being able to provide that, that expeditious customer service, or solving whatever their issue, makes them feel comfortable, makes them feel safe, and they're more apt to go with you and to stick with you. So
Okay.
you don't have to be a perfect cleaner.
Mhm.
Just fix whatever issue that they have, and they're good to go.
Do what you say that you're going to do, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, and that that really did bleed into my next question, is completely fine. But since we tapped on that, I was having a conversation with one of my buddies not too long ago. He's not in this industry at all.
Mhm.
He's in another industry, and they do sales. Would you say that customer service is becoming like a dying art?
It's dead. It's dead. And I'll say this because, as we talked before we started the interview, I went to, have some service done to my vehicle, and the customer service was absolutely horrific. It
Mm,
was horrible. And it was like no one really cared, no one was concerned. The fact that we had, I had to wait for an extended period of time and no one even acknowledged me, it put a bad taste in my mouth. And I'm like, if I were ever to treat a client like that, I wouldn't blame them for firing me.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
the customer, they say the customer is always right. Yeah, to a point. To a point.
yeah.
But the issue is just making the customer feel like they're important. I treat all my customers as if they're the only customer I have.
Yeah,
And that's
definitely.
the key.
So, for the people at home who are watching, like you just gave a huge, huge nugget. We are all, there's so many of us, there's so many people with commercial cleaning businesses, and the industry is only growing. The need is only getting higher. Every single day there's someone who's filling out a new LLC or sole proprietorship. But
Right.
the biggest difference between the ones who make it versus the ones who don't, you just touched on it, man. It's a lot of it has to do with your customer service being likable, knowing going into it, not necessarily thinking so much about the amount of money that you're going to make, but how can I service this customer so well that they don't mind cutting that $4,000 or $5,000 check every single month,
Yes.
and then referring me to one of their friends. So service is we're a service based business. So
Mhm.
having that customer service is key, man. And
Exactly.
yeah, if you're watching at home and you're thinking about getting into this industry, keep that in your back pocket, because how well you treat your customer is going to go such a long way.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Now, I want to talk a little bit about innovation in the
Mhm.
cleaning techniques, right? So, in this cleaning industry is constantly evolving, right? Can you talk about any innovative or eco-friendly techniques, or, things that your business has adopted to stay ahead in the market?
So one of the things that I use, I like software. I like things that can make my job and take a lot of the the responsibilities kind of off me, and I can like have it um, in one area. So I like a lot of software. Um, One thing that I use that I think helps me get a lot of clients is the software. Um, I'll tell you the software I use is Jobber, um,
Mhm.
but the the most important part of the software is that it notifies my clients, it notifies my contractors, it notifies my employees. So if there's a job coming up, everybody knows, okay, this is a job coming up, this is the time it's going to be, this is the location. It gives the client notification of the job being scheduled. It also gives the client notification when either my subcontractor or my employee is on their way. So it
Mhm.
gives that notification to them so that everybody's in the loop. Because what I was doing before was every time a job was done, now I have to go and email or text the customer and tell them, hey, the job is complete. Or if I forget because I get so busy, now I have to go back. I have to take time and send that information out to them. The software I use, as soon as the job is done or closed out, it sends everybody a notification. So it kind of saves me time so that I
Mhm.
can focus on other things.
Okay.
And then also, the CRM that AJ has with the Clean Biz Network, any CRM you want to use, but that's just the one I use right now. And it's
Mhm.
also absolutely amazing that it gives notifications to people. It gives me updates and reminders of things that needs to be done because, in my seasoned age, I can't remember everything. To be honest, I can't remember nothing. If I don't write it down, I'm not going to remember it. So I have to do stuff like that.
Man, I feel you, man. I have so many different, but I'm the same way. I got like apps. So anytime I got like a
Yeah.
new thing, I'll put it into the app, and then everything's good to go. I don't even be
Right.
trying to remember all of that stuff. Like I
You
remember
can't. It's too
back
much.
in the day, like we used to have to memorize the phone numbers, and I would never forget phone numbers. Like, I don't want to do that no more, man. I got time to remembering everything. So
Yeah.
so talk about building out your team. I know you mentioned subcontractors, but when it comes to building out a reliable and an efficient team, like what have been some of your keys to success? And then also, How do you like what recruiting methods, if you don't mind sharing, like what methods do you use to go out and make
Okay.
sure you're recruiting reliable people?
Okay. So I'll start with the recruiting methods. Um, we usually, I kind of focus more on social media and Indeed,
Mhm.
um, but more so Indeed than Facebook or anything like that, because I feel that with Indeed, you get more quality applicants. I
Mhm.
won't say necessarily reliable, but more quality applicants, and more applicants that are serious about the application submittal. Like on Facebook, you'll see a lot of people will, like it, they will comment, they will, say they're interested, but when you give them the next step or the next stage in the process, you don't hear anything from them. We're more with Indeed. I've learned how to send out posts that will allow me to get a certain type of um, applicant.
Mhm.
And then within that post, I will put certain things in there, certain things that need to be accomplished to see if they actually read the post,
Mhm.
if they actually
Yeah.
follow the instructions,
Mhm.
which will get them to the next stage
Mhm.
of the application process. Because if they don't follow the instructions, then their attention to detail isn't there. They aren't dependable, they aren't reliable, they aren't paying attention.
Mhm.
So I already know that I'm not going to want this applicant. So it allows me to kind of understand, okay, this person they did everything that I needed them to do. Okay, they can go further into the onboarding process. And then I do it like that. And that kind of helps me with getting more quality. But when it gets down to it, you can get 100, no, I won't say 100, let's keep it simple. You can get like 10 interviews and only 2 people show up,
Yeah,
you know?
that's yeah,
So
yeah.
so it doesn't. But what we kind of use to in addition to that is we have a training process. I understand that I can't teach people to clean, so I have my team, which right now is my fiance and my daughter who works with me. They're better cleaners than me. They can train better than me. I just want to get work done, so I have them responsible. So if you delegate, a staff or a team, or even have a process where you have videos of how you want a certain location done,
Mhm.
you can train that way. And just understand, when you start this entrepreneurial process, you're responsible for everything. But as you grow, you need to start delegating people for each individual task so that you're not overwhelmed, because you can get overwhelmed doing this.
Absolutely, man. You hit the nail right on the head. So do you predominantly use subcontractors, or do you blend? Do you use W4 workers at all? How does that
It,
how does that work?
I blend it. So
Okay.
it depends on the job. Like certain jobs, like for instance, I have a dealership in another town that I have W-2 employees there. And like for apartment move outs or anything like that, I may have subcontractors. It
Mm,
just really depends on the job. So I kind of do both. Post construction jobs, more so I'll use subcontractors. But then a job like we have an office space that we do 5 days a week downtown.
mm,
You can either do a W-2 employee or a subcontractor. Right now, I have W-2 employees because you can have more control
yeah.
over the requirements and the needs that you want accomplished at that location, as opposed to a subcontractor. You can't really train them,
Yeah.
but there's ways around it. But that's a whole nother conversation. There are things you can do to kind of certify your subcontractors for certain jobs, but that's a
Yeah.
whole nother issue to talk
Yeah.
about.
Yeah. We'll save that for
Yeah.
another day.
Mhm.
Okay. So you pretty much, because we do similar. First I was really W4 heavy. Then I
Right.
was subcontractor heavy, and now we're blended. It's a
Yeah.
complete blend of what we're doing. The only difference that I heard, you have a lot of success on Indeed, whereas I have a lot of success on Facebook. But
Wow. Okay.
yeah, my methods are a little there. I don't think anyone's doing quite what I'm doing.
Okay.
We ran interviews. Oh my gosh. We ran interviews, what, 2 weeks ago?
Uh-huh.
And we had about 50 applicants. And this is in a matter of about 6 hours. So 60 people,
Okay.
or within 6 hours, like 50 people applied, 50, 60 people applied. And we had about 30 people show up. And that
Wow.
almost, that we've tweaked some things. We changed some things
Okay.
in the way we do stuff. But I've always had more success on through Facebook. It's one of our channels.
And
And
are your and now I'm gonna ask you a question.
yeah,
So with these interviews, were these in-person interviews or
they were in
Zoom
person.
interviews?
We do all our
Wow.
interviews in person. Yeah. So
Really?
yeah, of course. I make
Mhm.
them, they're gonna come. We're not meeting. I used to do things, I had to figure stuff out, man. Like you gotta
Yeah.
realize, like, I've been in since 2015.
Hmm.
And a lot of what we do is building out our standard operating procedures. It's
Uh-huh.
all trial and error. We've done everything from meeting them at accounts, meeting them at Starbucks, meeting them at libraries, and none
Right.
of those places are wrong. But if you want a job, I want you to put in the work to come to see us to get the
I
job.
like that. Yes.
So
That's
yeah,
a gem right there.
that's one of
Yeah.
the things that we do, man. But I wanna move on to to the trends that's going on. Now,
Okay.
you come across, based on what you told me so far, you really come across as someone who pays attention to detail. You have to, because of where you
Yes.
come from.
Right.
And how do you, I know when you came in at 2020 and everything was going on. You couldn't miss it, right? Everybody,
Right.
Stevie Wonder saw what was going on. Everybody knew what was going on.
Right.
So you couldn't really miss it. But like nowadays, how do you stay on top of like any market trends, anything that's going on, any changes
Mm.
within the commercial cleaning space? Like how do you stay on top of those things?
Um, I think the most part is from the internet, social media, just paying attention. I'm not really in the cleaning like ISSA and BA, whatever the acronyms are
Yeah.
for the cleaning. I'm not really into that just yet. Just mainly just paying attention to news, and so many things come across your screen when you're doing research and stuff like that. That there are new innovations and stuff like that, and you have to sit, like, for instance, you'll see the robots that are cleaning,
Yeah.
right? And then people get concerned, oh no, they're going to take all the jobs. No, you have to think look at it from a different perspective. Okay, get to a position. If these are going to be the way of the future, now you have to figure out, okay, how can we own those robots?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's all in perspective and just paying attention to what's going on.
Yeah.
And that's all I do. I pay attention and I figure out how to make it work for myself.
Yeah, there you go. And
Mm,
there's no other way. I couldn't have
yeah.
said it any better myself. And I've used that example before
Mm.
where
Really? Mm.
yeah, if they're buying the robots, if robots are coming in and figure out how you can buy some, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Uh, they're gonna need to be, serviced. They're gonna need different things. They're gonna have to. There's always gonna be
Exactly.
room for
Hmm.
you to be able to make adjustments and audible on the play.
Right.
One of the things that I will say is this: um, having being in the position to have a good relationship with the local person who provides you with any janitorial supplies.
Hmm.
We do get a lot of supplies online, but I always keep good relationships with the local store
Most
here.
definitely.
I'll call them up and hey, I need X, Y, and Z, and then they'll go ahead and say, okay, well, come in. I keep good relationships with those people, and here's why: because
Mm.
in 2019, towards the end of 2019, I don't know if you remember, but we can go back to the research. The first case of COVID was here in Washington State. The first
Oh, okay.
case in the U.S. was here. So my guy, I came in just regular getting some gloves, and he had told me like, hey, whatever you're coming to get, make sure you get 2 or 3 times the amount.
Yes, they will tell you.
Yeah. I'm like, why? He's like, well, because people were coming in here and they're sending stuff to other places. They're buying stuff in bulk and sending it to other places. So make sure that
Yeah.
you and your team are ready. So just things just as little as that, making sure you're in contact or you have a good relationship with the people who supply you locally, I would say is also a really good way to stay ahead of any market curves or anything that are trending or anything like that.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. I agree 100%.
yeah, yeah. So I got one final question. One final question.
Okay.
All right, and this one's a little bit different. So if you in an alternate universe, right, completely different universe, you had to be in business though. You have to be in business. What business would you choose? What other business would you choose
Other than cleaning?
other than cleaning?
Other than cleaning. It would actually be real estate.
Real estate?
It would be real estate. Only because I've always wanted to be in real estate. It's always been a dream of mine to own property, to own multiple properties, and create residual or a passive income from that for my children and for my children's children. And that's just something that I've always wanted to do. But if it wasn't that, I would start another cleaning business and I would be so much better than I am right now.
Oh my gosh, man. Hey, seriously, if I would have known now what I knew
Yes.
back in 2015, geez. So but here's the cool thing though. What's cool about it is you have the skills now. You have those the skills of a cleaning business owner, and real estate ain't going nowhere. So you could easily parlay that into a real estate business as well. So
that's the goal.
build that portfolio up.
Yes, most definitely.
Pretty much it. Like I don't really have any other questions for you today. I most definitely thank you for coming on to the channel. I know it's been a long time coming. You're a very busy man. I appreciate you stopping by. Let the people know where they can reach you.
Okay, so the one place you can reach me is on my website at www.squeakyclean1911.com. That's SQUEAKYKLEAN 1911. And I have a lot of stuff on my website, from mentorship programs to affiliate partnerships, subcontracting stuff. And I do consultations. So you can do all of that on that website. But then please, if you get the opportunity, follow me on my YouTube or on Instagram. Instagram is Squeaky Clean, and that's clean with a K _ LLC. And then on my YouTube, it's just Squeaky Clean LLC, no underscore.
All right, man. Well, once again, I thank you so much for stopping by, man. We definitely gonna have to do a follow-up, a part 2, or maybe I don't know. I might come on your show on your channel and
let's do it. Awesome.
and double back like that. But guys, that's it for today's video. Like I say, in the game of business, spectators only watch, but hustlers get into the game so they can win. I'm always dropping jewels, but the only way to be in position to pick them up is you got to like, comment, and subscribe. Once again, my name is Marcus Crockett. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.